How was your weekend?
Good. How about yours?
It was good. Yeah, we did some fun things on Saturday. Yesterday was kind of catching up, but it was nice. Nice weather.
Yeah, it was nice. But
So you really got walloped with the storm though,
we
right?
did. We still, our branches have power, but a lot of the houses in Connecticut don't have power.
Still a week later
Yeah,
almost. Yeah,
it's
wow.
terrible. It's been over a week,
Yeah.
so it's been terrible. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, no, I drove to Norwalk a couple days ago, and it took about 2.5 hours to get there, which is normally like an hour drive.
Yeah, that's it. Got so many trees down. First, it
Yeah.
wasn't even a hurricane. It was only a tropical storm.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think we'll get started here. Hello, LinkedIn community. Thank you for joining us today as we discuss community banking and digital lending in the current economic environment. If you have any questions during this session, please do not hesitate to send those in. I'm honored to have Steve Cornell. Steve is the president and CEO of National Iron Bank, and his bank was recently recognized as one of the top 20 lenders by ICBA in the country, and certainly honored to have him today, for this discussion. Steve, if you don't mind, if you could give a quick, brief introduction.
Sure. National Iron Bank was started in Falls Village, Connecticut. We're in the northwest corner of Connecticut, and was started in 1847. It's about a 173-year-old bank. We've gone through many different times, depressions and everything, and now we're going through some new hardships. But one of the things that we're using to try to get through these in the future will be digital banking.
Great, perfect. And just some quick information on Turnkey Lender and who we are. We're based out of Austin, Texas. We provide an all-in-one unified lending solution for residential, consumer, and commercial lending. Again, it takes you from pre-approval all the way through loan payoff with all the lending capabilities that you're going to need in the current environment. We have 150 clients in over 40 countries today, and again, looking to expand on that. So Steve, based on current economic conditions, obviously banks of any size are going to be forced to, go digital. And again, I just wanted to get a little background on your due diligence and what you guys did to prepare for this.
Sure, Scott. About 2 years ago, we started working on a 5-year strategic plan. And in that strategic plan, it was to modernize the bank. The first part of that plan and expenditures, the first part of that plan was to modernize and update all our branches, taking them out of the kind of old transaction mode and setting them up so they could our tellers at that time could become universal bankers. Now with at that time, transactions were already starting to drop because of people using home banking. So we redesigned it so they can spend most of their time doing sales. At that same time, I started looking into digital banking, both for the lending and the deposit side. The deposit side is quite easier to find, and we've been working with our core provider, COCC, to help us with that. But I spent at least 2 years looking for somebody who could meet my needs for digital banking. I looked at about 5 other platforms for digital banking, and none of them really met what I was looking for. What I was looking for is somebody who had a user-friendly interface, quick initial decision-making, cloud integration, and advanced matrix. And I just couldn't find one. And so this year, I was going to the ICBA conference, and that was my main thing, to find a provider that could give me that. I had also, before I went, I had talked to the Rich Leone, who was the head of COC, and he had nobody that he knew of offhand. So off I went to the ICBA, and that's where I met a Turnkey Lender, and I met Scott. And after meeting and talking for a while with Scott, I realized that's really what I've been looking for. So that's pretty much how we got here, Scott.
Great. No, thank you. I appreciate that background. And COCC, that's your core provider?
Yes.
Okay. And I think they actually have over 100 community banks are in a similar position right now.
Correct.
Right.
They are.
And I think, based on previous conversations, you and I discussed the importance of really, increasing your back office efficiencies, right? And, obviously overhead's a big thing for community banks. Budgeting is a big thing for community banks. If you could just talk to me a little bit about, your back office, your current back office capabilities, and where do you think, our system's going to help you?
One of the things as we're growing in the lending area, which we've seen a lot of growth in the last 2 years, instead of taking on more people, one of my concerns is to reduce FTEs. So I was looking for something that would completely automate that side of it. And so at least I didn't have to add anybody.
Right.
And with Turnkey Lender, with the capability of having the instant decision making. And the other thing is that in the platform, it's able to verify borrowers' assets digitally. It can verify borrowers' identities, verify borrowers' income. So that will save a lot of time for my underwriters. And then the final thing is it can actually give the underwriter all the necessary information they need.
Right. Yeah. From an AI perspective, obviously that's one of our specialties, and being able to score bank statements, getting bank statements readily available. So your borrowers don't have to, upload those in. We can get them ourselves and score those based on their behaviors. Is certainly going to expedite your approval process as well, especially on the commercial loan side. No, that's wonderful. In terms of, efficiencies as well from a reporting standpoint, I think right now you do a lot of things manually, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Most things are manual. I mean, that's the problem with community bank. A lot of us, we still use the same manual systems, and we usually put a lot of them. We just buy a system so they can fill out the application online. But this changes the whole perspective. This does everything, and right up to the final decision. The final decision on whether we're going to do the loan or not.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about it, because I know it was important to you, was cloud-based technology, and how that's certainly going to make things, it's obviously going to increase your portfolio. It's going to help you scale. Basically our system is actually, like another loan officer to you. If you can walk me through some of your, some of the things you were looking for in terms of cloud-based technology.
Well, something was one, to have an interface with systems so they could do the verifying borrowers' assets, also so they could check the credit before we got it, so we could eliminate people that didn't qualify right away. And
Right.
And the other reason cloud-based was so we could have, it could be signed on anywhere in our market, not have to be tied to a system or server here. But just to go back a little bit, Scott, I just want to talk about the reasons I mainly start looking at this is, as we've already alluded to, is cost savings. We're going to save on FTEs or money, which I think is big. I think the one thing is it's going to really increase our sales, in that it's once people apply, it's going to be able to take people right out of the sales cycle. The other thing it does that I want to make sure we touch on, because I know we're limited, is it differentiates us from other competitors. And one thing that I always look at is, what can we give the realtor, something special that other banks do? Because a lot of times you just have your originators go in, give the realtor your rates, and that's supposed to differentiate. So now you have to be the lowest rate provider. Mm-hmm. What this does is this provides the realtor now to pre-qualify somebody, so they can say, go to National Iron, put in your stuff. And when we do that, it automatically pre-qualifies them, gives them a letter, gives them the disclosures, and they're ready to go. So
Right.
It makes us much different, and something we can offer special to the realtors so they come to us.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's certainly going to help your lending portfolio scale. Obviously, from an efficiency standpoint, it's going to help your loan officers as well, with the applications coming in and being able to determine, the qualifications of the clients very quickly. And, basically the sales cycle is going to be reduced dramatically.
Right.
Right. And you did talk about, FTEs and the cost of FTEs and budgeting. And I know, we'll probably end on this, but on community banking standpoint, obviously budget is a big thing. And, community banks have to have the willingness to spend money. But at the end of the day, like you said, you're going to be able to increase your loan portfolio. You're going to be able to reduce FTEs. If you could just, elaborate on that a little bit. That'd be great.
I think if you can either go with a flow, which means you're going to have to be automated. I mean, look at what's happened with Amazon, Uber, Quicken, or you can just stay the same and you may not survive. I mean, I really feel strongly if that's what you're going to have to do what, because people expect that kind of technology, and especially with COVID-19, it speeded up the whole process.
It sure did.
I was thinking of a 5-year horizon. Now we're there. We need to get there and starting getting there now.
Right.
But because of COVID-19 changed the expectations that people have with technology. So I think it changed everything. So going back to with budget, when we originally looked at the budget, I had no idea, because to find a provider like Turnkey Lender, I didn't know what that was going to cost us. I mean, but in the long run, and redoing all my branches, but in the long run, it's going to, I know I'm going to get a return ROI on it. That's going to be great, but I really can't project because I just don't know what to expect, because this is really new and it's happening very quickly.
Yeah. That's it. Based on the environment, it has to move quickly. But Stephen, thank you so much for your time today. I truly appreciate it. To the LinkedIn community, thank you guys very much for attending. I hope this was helpful and insightful, and have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.